And today I'm going to show you how to cook quinoa and make a nice summery salad. I love using different grains here on the courses at our Lizzy, and quinoa is one of my favourites. I like using the British grown quinoa, so Hog-Me-Dodds and the British Quinoa Company grow some excellent ones. So when you get your quinoa, you need to give it a really good wash. Quinoa is a seed, and the plant naturally has a bitter coating to repel birds. So I always encourage people to give the quinoa a quick rinse to get rid of that. So take some quinoa and using your measuring cup, you can pop it into a sieve. You can weigh if you prefer. So you pop it into a sieve, and then you take that to the cold tap and give it a really good rinse. And then once it's rinsed, having a small sieve like this is really useful because you can just slide the rinsed quinoa into the saucepan and cover with water ready to cook. So for quinoa, it's half a cup of quinoa and a cup of water, so it's always double the amount. So we'll bring that to the boil with the water and then a low simmer for about 10 minutes until all the water's absorbed and you can see almost a small tail starting to come on the quinoa. So we'll see how we get on. So as we say, this is one I prepared earlier. So pop that over there. And we'll have a look at this one. So hopefully all the water's absorbed and it's ready to go. What you don't want to do is get a big spoon and start stirring it. It's just good to go in with a fork just to check that all the water is absorbed and to fork it through lightly. You don't want to end up with porridge, because that's a whole new recipe. So that could be served instead of rice as a grain by itself, but it's also nice as part of a cold salad, which would be perfect for a packed lunch. So I've prepared some chopped onion and pepper there, and we're going to just throw some tofu through it. So this is a smoked tofu. This is a really tasty one. So we can chop this up and use it straight from the packet. This tofu is also great for sandwiches. The brand is Tofu, and you can get it in independent health food shops and Waitrose, Ocado, places like that. So really delicious. So we'll cut that in half. And again, if you didn't want to use the whole packet in the dish, you could just use a little bit. And as you can see, I'm chopping it up in chunky pieces at different angles, because like the vegetables, it just creates a little bit more interest, but you can chop it however you like. Right, so we'll pop that in with the vegetables. So that's really delicious, dense tofu, and this particular one is very high in protein because it's got almonds and sesame seeds in it as well. So really delicious. So that's there, and then we can mix that with the quinoa in a minute. So into that we're going to add a little bit of flavour in the form of coriander. So I've got some fresh coriander seeds here. So I'm going to grind them freshly. So rather than having the ground coriander powder, you want to grind them. So as you can see, I keep mine in a spare pepper grinder, but if you don't, you can put them in pestle and mortar or crush them on the board with a rolling pin. And again, all these flavourings would be to taste, so I always encourage people to taste, get a fresh spoon, taste again and adjust the seasoning. So I quite like this with coriander and lime. I thought we'd have a little bit of lemon today. So we've got some lemon here. So as it's an unwaxed lemon, we can use the zest. So you can use a grater or a zester to remove the zest as it's unwaxed. So we just pull the zest off and we can pop that in, and then we can pop a little bit of juice in as well. If you didn't want to use, if you were using lime and coriander and you didn't want to use salt to season, then you might use a little bit of tamari, the soy sauce. The nice thing about quinoa is it's completely gluten-free, and it's one of those grains, well, pseudo grains, it's a seed that has all the amino acids that the body needs, so it's really, really healthy. So here I've got the equivalent of a pepper, an onion and a block of tofu, so you can see that you would get quite a lot. So you can just adjust the amounts as needed. So this is my ginger, so it's frozen straight from the freezer, and so it's much, much easier to grate from frozen. So I always encourage people, when you're buying fresh ginger, if you've not used it all, put it into manageable sized nuggets in the freezer, and then you can just use it whenever you want. Same with garlic. Right then, so we will get our serving dish. So we'll put the quinoa into the dish. So this is half a cup. So quinoa sort of quadruples in size really, so you can just do as much as you want. Pop the mixture in and fork that through, and just to finish off, some greenery, so you could have some rocket or some spinach from the garden. As we've got lemon, I've got a little mixture of parsley and chervil here, so that goes really well. So you can gather them up and use your knife, or if you prefer you can use scissors, or if you prefer smaller bits you can use your food processor. There we go then, that'll do me. So this would serve a couple of people for an evening meal, or you could keep something like this in the fridge and have it going for 2 or 3 days for packed lunch. So there we are then. Quinoa salad with smoked tofu and summer vegetables. So have a go, see what you think. If you'd like to see any of the recipes, do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and the recipe for this is on my website. The link is below.